Red Alert 2 World Series Pro Division action coming at you guys, and today I have a wild game for you. So this was an event we ran a couple weeks ago. Qien, the Octo Kid, one of the best players in the world, he took down everybody and won the cash prize. But then, right before I ended the stream, we had a challenger. Ed, the wildcard, top-level player who is known for his exciting, unorthodox gameplay. He said, hey, I've been watching the map, I've been watching Qien, give me a best of one, I want to challenge him. So he steps in here, and in typical wildcard fashion, he brings some exciting outside of the box tactics, which of course make for an awesome game. So let's get right into it. As always, if you're enjoying, liking, commenting, subscribing, all that stuff is free for you. Helps me a bunch. I truly appreciate it. If you want more information about what we're doing here, you can always head over to redalert2.com. With that, let's go. Okay, so Qien going allied here, Ed going Soviet, this bottom left position. Now Ed talking about favoring the bottom left position because of this zone, trying to get in here early with rhinos and dogs, trying to play off this zone, threaten across the bridge, come bottom side, come left side. Qien's tough, you know. I mean, this game is broken down to a few different categories. You know, you got your micro, what you're doing with your tanks, if you're splitting them, how you're telling them to attack, how you're moving them. You got your macro, your build speed on the back end, your build order, and of course your placement, putting the refineries in optimal positions. You look at this cell by cell, exactly what, you know, trying to get as close as you can here. And now Ed already in this zone and gonna destroy those gems. Gonna destroy those gems, boys. Pro moves, destroying gems. Yeah, you can destroy gems. Gems do not rejuvenate, so nice value early on. Now pushing uphill into that pillbox. Oh, but the pillbox was blocking, so Ed was trying to shoot the tank there, but was then shooting through the pillbox. Little things like that make a huge difference. I mean, the game early on at the pro level is shell by shell of each Rhino tank, each Grizzly tank, what it's doing, where it's going, if it's hitting its target, and what the target was. And so Qien, real quick, we saw 12 players, all these games today. And Qien comes in here, man, he's just like AI, just like, boom, game theory optimal move, destroy the bridge, remove the threat. Now he forces a choke point, he has the higher ground, he can hold this position, and now Ed can only really dangle between, you know, kind of this top left zone, bottom right zone. Still a threat, though, and I like the map control. Drone from Ed as well, looking to hunt here. Monster gifted sub to Possessed CNC. Steven, you're too good to me, man. Too good to me, Steven. All right, so drone, oh, Rocky to counter. So now Qien getting over to AFC. So fodder in the group now as well. So Ed, oh, and Ed brings the MCV super early. Wow. Dude, Ed, sometimes Ed's a little too nice to me. Like, he doesn't, I feel like Ed, any of you guys who are unfamiliar, Ed knows the game inside and out. 10,000 times better than me. Because I'm not a top level player, man. I'm mostly a hype man. I'm mostly in here just to yell and make noise and talk about unicorns. Ed is actually a top level player. He's been around forever. He understands the inner workings of the game, you know, better than many people. So sometimes I'm like, Ed, I feel like the MCV move's really stupid. And he doesn't want to be like really mean and be like, oh, Ivor, you're totally wrong. So sometimes he'll be like, yeah, maybe. I feel like he's a little too nice to me, because in that case, he brings the MCV, drops refinery, now going offensive, brings the barracks on the bottom side, and that's why you call him the wild card, boys. Dangling on the top side, pulling Qien's attention, all of Qien's fodder on the top side, sells the MCV, has the forward barracks, now going conscripts, and BO1, boys, this is why I love BO1. You only got to pull something crazy off one time. Conscript's going to cause a lot of issues here. Defensive paradrop for Qien. Double pillboxes for Qien. Ed has 6K in the bank, still pumping, still dangling on the top side. Qien theoretically on the ropes, but the Octo Kid, these close quarter combat situations, he just thrives in these positions. His APM to spam pillboxes, spam the repair on the pillboxes, micro his fodder, micro his tanks, also lay down some refineries. You know, it really is very, very impressive. Although he busts through, Qien pulls those Grizzlies back. So Ed baits on the bottom side, pulls my position. Oh, but then, oh my gosh, dude, Qien is just built different, man. This was such a beautifully orchestrated attack here from Ed. And now Ed's tanks needs to be careful with the pathing. Now bounces to the top side. That forward barracks goes down. Remember, guys, Ed now does not have an MCV, so Ed in the pressure cooker here needs to make something happen. Tanks on the bridge gonna get some free shots in. Now going at the miners, and all you can really do is just try to spin Qien in a circle, try to create some chaos, and force a mistake from Qien, but at the top level, man, that's a big part of it, is these players, Qien is just really holds his composure. Really, really cold-blooded in those positions, does not freak out, and also plays a lot of blitz. MCV goes down. Qien gets caught smoothing the MCV. Qien gets caught getting cocky, going for an MCV move here in the middle of the battle. MCV goes down. Ed taking care of his tanks on the top side. No anti-air, though, so those Rockies getting nice chip damage. Now, Dog's waypointed on the bottom side. Ed doesn't have much of an army down here, though. And now Refinery probably going to be going down. Ed does pull his miner back to save it. Conscript's trying to defend. You guys are getting a little cut off on that part. Ed threw on the... Ed, this is... Oh, Qien on a double War Factory. If he only had one War Factory, maybe... You know, the problem is once you smoke it to the filter, at some point you're just smoking filter. Which is the worst part of the cigarette, is the filter. You don't want to smoke the filter for too long. And Ed is kind of like... Ed's been like running on fumes. Ed's like coasting downhill, running on fumes. He's now like throwing stuff out of the car, trying to like lighten the load so he can coast a little bit further. But I just don't. He just didn't quite get the value that he needed here. And Qien just out tanking now. I guess Ed's got 5K in the bank. Ed's got 5K. Pull the miners, Ed. Pull the miners, man. I just don't think. The double War Factory is devastating. The AFC, the 4 Eagles. Those Eagles can start sniping. Should be sniping out Ed's barracks. And now Qien finally gets down offensively. Taking his time here. Ed continuing to chip away on the right side. Not going to work.